Hi, my name is Tara, and I'm a meditation coach, and I do energy work and hypnotherapy and spirit work. And I'm going to put up some meditation videos so that you can practice a little bit of breathing and being present in the moment and see what it's like to work with me. And if you find them useful, you're welcome to book time with me or to make a donation to my website or just pass it on. You know, a lot of people don't know much about meditation and breathing. And my version of it isn't about being perfect or getting it just right. It's about the experience of being in the moment. And that's the thing that I'd like you to be able to take away with you, from the videos, is that it's about breathing and being. And I share techniques that can help you even if you have a really busy mind. But it'll still work for you if you're already used to meditation practice, but this will often add a little bit of depth or range to it. So welcome and enjoy. Namaste. Hi, this is Tara, and we're going to be doing a slightly more advanced or a little more active meditation in this particular one. So we're going to integrate some of the somatic centering that we did in an earlier meditation. And we're going to sort of build on top of that. We're going to start with a little bit of breathing, then a little bit of movement, and then we're going to really move. So first, just take a moment and check in with the body, see what's going on. Like in this particular case, I've been sitting here for a little while, so my body's like, hey, we should, leave soon. And if your body says something like that, say, thanks for sharing that, I get that. We're going to hang out for a little while, and then we'll move, okay? Most of the time the body will cooperate and say, yeah, okay, all right, I can do this. But we don't want to ignore what it has to say. That's a very important thing, at least in my style of meditation, is not to ignore what the body is telling you, because the information is valuable. It gives it a voice, which we often don't do. And sometimes the body waits a long time for us to finally hear it, to the point sometimes that we don't hear it until it's actually screaming at us. And that's part of what the meditation is designed to help with, so that we get more in touch with our body and that we start to hear it and respond to it, so that it feels like it's in a reciprocal relationship with us and it's getting its needs met too. Right? Okay, so take a deep breath. And remember, we're still going to breathe from the belly. I want you to imagine, picture, pretend that you're breathing all the way down through the torso, into the floor, down through the floor, into the foundation, below the foundation, and into the crust of the earth. And if you can keep going down below the crust, into the magma in the center. And just notice what that kind of anchoring and breathing does. Okay, and again, we're going to be using a few cleansing breaths and then some meditative breaths. The cleansing breath is the one that you take a long, deep inhalation and then a quick release exhalation. And the body just sort of collapses around the breath, and that's okay. We want it to soften. And then we're going to do the meditative breath after about 3 of the cleansing breaths. And for that, we're going to inhale slowly and evenly and exhale slowly and evenly, but not so slowly that you have to gasp or take a little breath in between. So it'll look something like this. And in that process, just allow the body to continue to soften and be present. If you notice itches or discomfort, just address them. They're all right. Thank them for sharing. And then we're going to get into a little bit of movement that'll bring us totally into the moment. So earlier we did some of the patting. We're going to do that again, but this time we're going to increase the intensity of the patting so that you're going to get to an actual sting sensation when you're patting. We want to do this enough so that when you watch me hit something, you can see the reverberation. If you watch my hand, I'm moving my arm enough that my hand will jump, right? So we want to be applying enough force that you can really feel the motion, the force, the pounds per square inch pressure through the whole thickness of your body, so that it's gonna, you can't really think about anything else, right? And you can do this through the legs, all the way down into the feet. So why don't you go ahead and try that now? Good. And this time try and get into your shoulders a little bit. I have to, hold my elbow because my arms just don't go, but if yours do, you don't have to do it that way. That's just a modification because I happen to have short arms. So you want to get right to the edge of, it's a little uncomfortable, but it still feels kind of good too. Do your back. Good. Take a deep breath. Just notice how the body feels with that. What let go? What softened? What said, what's vibrating? What's happy? And as you notice that in the body, breathe slowly. Now, if you have someone to interact with, you can take it even a little bit further, and you can trade off and do a version of what we just did, that somatic centering, but for someone else. And this can be, I'm going to show it just in the region of the back. If you're comfortable, you can do it in the region of the legs and the torso as well. It's often also helpful to do it on the head. We'll do the head after we do the back. So I'm going to have somebody step in here. So what we want to do is apply a cupped hand so that I'm not dead handing, it's not a slap, and I'm not going to end up stinging him, because I don't have a sensory input that tells me how it feels in his body. So I want to make sure that I'm doing it in a safe way. All right. We're going to start light with an alternating hand gesture back and forth. Once you feel like they're not flinching, they're comfortable, they may even relax a little, then you can increase your pressure a little bit. And you want to get all the way down to the lower back. That's often unattended. Get across the tops of the shoulders and the tops of the arms. Those are pretty much the safe spaces that you're not going to hurt anybody. And nobody's going to hurt you if you trade off. When you're done, you always give it a brush. And that just serves a little bit of closure, a little bit of energetic movement and cleaning. Thank you. All right. Now, once you've done that, then we're going to do a little bit of the same thing on the head. So be prepared to mess your hair up a little bit. So we're going to start with your fingertips out. We're just going to do back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? Back and forth. You're going to go over the whole surface of your skull. And what this does is stimulates the nerves on the scalp, and it also loosens the tension of the facial tissue, which means it'll help you release and relax your head. If you have a headache, this is a great thing to do. And then when you're done, you're going to do the same brushing. Down and back, down and back. And then shake your fingertips out. Take another deep breath. And notice how the head feels. Notice the scalp, notice the hair. Notice if it's looser. Notice if something tickles, right? That's all valid. When we stimulate nerves, we often get surprising information back from them because we haven't talked to them for a while. So then take a few deep breaths. And notice what's present in the body for you now. Notice if there's something that wants some attention or some love. Or if it's just like, I want to take a nap now. And thank it for its honesty. As grown-ups, we often don't give ourselves permission and space to release, to relax, to nap, to breathe. So many of us go through the day breathing shallowly, not really present and aware, that just shifting how we breathe can make our day so much more. Gives us more energy. We're really connecting. By oxygenating your cells, they're more alive, which lets them do their job even better. So keep breathing slowly, evenly, in and out. And then pick just one thing you'd like to work on briefly. It may be saying, hey, lower back, I really appreciate all the stuff you do for me. I'm sorry that you're a little uncomfortable today. It could be, hey there, knees. I know I really put you to work yesterday and you're a little tender and sore. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Let's see if we can get you what you need to feel better. Or it could be the head. Ugh, I really noticed there was a lot of tension when I scribbled over my scalp. I didn't know I had tension there. And in that process, just the acknowledgement part can make a big difference in our experience. Notice how it is to sit with and be present with those things. And the somatic centering movements, they help us be present and aware because it's hard to pay attention to something else when you're exerting that much force on your own body or when someone else is doing it for you. So take another deep breath. Thank everyone for coming. All the parts of you that showed up, all the thoughts that came by. Good. And then begin to surface. First, allowing yourself to soften and descend for just a moment at 0. And then from there up to 1. Just finding the positive things that make your day, make the breath just a little better. And from there we come up to 2, and we release and relax and just let go. Good. And from there we come up to 3, and we connect with something that's warm and relaxing, or cool and refreshing. Depends on your personality type, on where you're at today. Choose something that feels good to you. And alive. And then from there we come up to 4. And at 4, we just begin to be more aware of the things around us. What we're sitting on, our own body, the fabrics surrounding us that we touch. And from there we come up to 5 with a breath and a stretch, and the eyes open, and we transition to wide awake, focused and energized. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eyes awake, focused, energized. And take another breath. If you don't feel like you're altogether back, you can repeat the count up from 1 to 5, or you can spell your name out loud, and that'll always bring you back to the here and now. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming and trying out my meditation video. I hope you found it useful, and remember that you can do this anytime or anywhere. The idea isn't to get it perfect, but is to have a moment where you're being present and getting centered. And if you did find it useful, I hope that you'd pass it along to other people who could use it. It's a pretty universal tool, and you can do it at just about any time or anywhere, at the office or at home. You can do it with your kids around. In fact, meditation is great for kids, so if you can get them to do it with you, kudos. And thank you so much. If you like this video, then I'd encourage you to check out my other videos. Namaste.